Part 58. While escaping from the enemy searching them everywhere, they reached the grasslands. Here, Ming Yu and Xie Yishou discuss the route to the north. And over there Cha-Cha-Chi returns to the central army tent. When he saw Tuoba Ren, he didn't dare to take a sip. Tuoba Ren's face was paler than usual, without any expression. But it made people feel a sense of fear for no reason. No matter how sickly a tiger is, it is still a tiger, the king of beasts. At this moment, Uncle Ping lowered his eyebrows and stood in the shadow behind Song Lian, without even looking at Cha-Cha-Chi. There was a chill in the air in the tent. Cha-Cha-Chi stepped forward, knelt down in front of Tuoba Ren and apologized, and before he spoke, Tuoba Ren, who was sitting cross-legged above, said lightly, "General Cha-Cha-Chi, did you bring someone back to this prince?" Cough. Cough. The words were calm, but Cha-Cha-Chi shuddered inexplicably when he heard it, and felt a killing intent. My prince's forgiveness is not because the minister did not do his best, but because the person who implemented the plan in front was really incompetent. When the minister arrived, Prince Duan had already been rescued. Cha-Cha-Chi said. The meaning in this sentence is that it was Uncle Ping who completely put the blame behind Song Lian. When Uncle Ping heard the words, he raised his head and was a little anxious. This man's ability to open his eyes and talk nonsense and confuse black and white is really good. They have obviously brought people to the territory of Shishi country, and it was impossible to escape. But how did this General Cha-Cha-Chi deal with it? Good people didn't go to chase and block, but instead, in order to make meritorious deeds, they not only lost a lot of people, but also gave them a chance to escape. Uncle Ping wanted to stand up, but was stopped by Song Lian. He waved his hand gently, signaling to be calm. When Uncle Ping saw it, he immediately covered up all the emotions on his face and returned to his previous appearance, as if everything had nothing to do with him. Tuoba Ren was almost laughed at. If he hadn't already understood all the situation before and only listened to his one-sided words, I'm afraid he would have believed it. It's a pity that he really thinks he is a fool. Tuoba Ren coughed a few times, and when he calmed down a little, he stood up and paced in front of Cha-Cha-Chi, staring at him condescendingly, and said coldly, "Very good. Very good. In this way, this prince let you answer, but you didn't bring him back? Your Highness." As soon as he said that, Tuoba Ren raised his leg and kicked him fiercely. Cha-Cha-Chi was kicked and staggered. Still dissatisfied in his heart, "Why didn't you listen to what I said? Could it be that you have heard the words of the Han people and made a judgment? The prince should know that the Han people have always been enemies with me, and they are cunning. How can they be with us? There is a saying in the Han people that they know their faces but not their hearts, so who knows what they are here for?" He looked down on the Han people, and Song Lian's desertion made him feel that the two had ulterior motives. Look at how the prince was bewitched by these two people, and he listened to their side words so easily. Tuoba Ren was about to laugh at him. What a bastard. Instead of reflecting on the mistakes he made, he blamed others. What was like what the prairie men did? Are you dissatisfied with this prince? Questioning what this prince did, he paused, squatted down, and suddenly pulled out the dagger in his boot with his right hand, and placed it on Cha-Cha-Chi's neck. This prince can't tolerate you. Cha-Cha-Chi, and you refuse to accept it? Huh? Tuoba Ren was already motivated to kill, and Cha-Cha-Chi raised his head in trembling, with a fierce voice, "Tuoba Ren, you can't kill me." Cough cough. Why can't I kill you? Tuoba Ren sneered, thinking that your father is the current general king of the right, this prince will not dare to kill you? Competing with the right part of the court, to a large extent, are the two largest forces under the Shishi country's King Khan. King Hunal used to supervise the Zuobu army and served as the official position of the Zuobu general king. That is to say, later, after the arrow was hit, his health was not as good as before, so he handed over the position of the Zuobu general king. Cha-Cha-Chi is nothing but a reckless man. And he has the status he has now because of his father's right, the general king. Cha-Cha-Chi is arrogant, his eyes are higher than the top, and he wants to compete with him everywhere. Which is really stupid. Seeing that Tuoba Ren was really angry, Cha-Cha-Chi's heart was broken, and he was almost scared to death, and begged for mercy again and again. "My prince, forgive my life. It was my fault, please give me another chance, this time I will definitely defeat Prince Duan. Catch it back in person." Cha-Cha-Chi's embarrassed appearance fell into Uncle Ping's eyes, and he only felt happy in his heart, and he didn't know that he would end up at this point. Song Lian has been watching with a cold eye. And only then did she stand up and persuade, "Your Highness, don't be angry. The general cannot be blamed for this matter." In the end, Prince Duan and Xie Yishou fell on the territory of Suishi country. So we should send more people. I can always find the whereabouts of these two people. Song Lian actually helped him to speak. I found it incredible. I was just trying to provoke him and the prince's relationship. There is something hidden in helping him at this time. Purpose? Han people have always been cunning, how could they be so kind? Tuoba Ren didn't expect Song Lian to intercede for Cha-Cha-Chi at this time. Didn't they hear what Cha-Cha-Chi slandered them just now? He pleads for mercy at this time. What is his intention? Song Lian took 2 steps lightly, with an indifferent smile on his better face. He stretched out 2 fingers and gently moved the knife that Tuoba Ren had placed on Cha-Cha-Chi's neck. Then he smiled and said, "It's all my own family, so don't hurt the peace. It's a good way for General Cha-Cha-Chi to take the blame and do meritorious deeds." Tuoba Ren frowned. But he didn't insist on his position anymore. With Song Lian's gesture, he inserted the dagger into his boot. He snorted coldly. Cha-Cha-Chi escaped and was already slumped to the ground. He wiped the cold sweat from his forehead before raising his eyes to look at Song Lian. He didn't like Song Lian. A traitorous Han Chinese who defected to the prince's account and had no guts to take responsibility. Seeing him look over, Song Lian had a meaningful smile in his eyes. Cha-Cha-Chi couldn't understand, but felt that this look was not much different from the murderous look in the prince just now. He is obviously a weak scholar who is powerless. How could he let himself have such thoughts? Cha-Cha-Chi couldn't understand anyway. When Song Lian pleaded for mercy, Uncle Ping, who was beside him, was also confused. "What's the matter, young master? Why do you want to help Cha-Cha-Chi speak? How many times has this Cha-Cha-Chi run on them secretly, fanning the flames in front of the prince, sowing discord? It is really a headache." Fortunately, the prince believed in his young master. So he did not let this man succeed. If the prince took this opportunity to kill him, he would only clap his hands and say hello, and he would never beg for mercy. But Song Lian didn't seem to notice the strange thoughts of everyone, and he was still as indifferent as a chrysanthemum. He would never do meaningless things. Pleading for Cha-Cha-Chi is simply because this person is still useful. And the prince doesn't necessarily want to kill him. If he really kills him in a fit of anger, as Cha-Cha-Chi's identity. If the king of the right department is in trouble, even the King Hunal will not be able to give up. Rather than waiting for Tuoba Ren to feel remorse after the incident happened. Why not stop it at such an instant? The warriors of Suishi country revered heroes, and the most important thing was to attach great importance to friendship and righteousness. I betray Cha-Cha-Chi's favor here, no matter whether he recognizes it or not. the life-saving grace is always true, and it will also be a lump in my heart in the future. And the matter of saving the life of Cha-Cha-Chi, a prairie warrior, by begging for mercy, fell into the eyes of others, and this matter could never be wiped out. It was only a few words of effort, so that the people of Shishi country could accept their own identity and recognize that they were their own, so that they could gain a firm foothold. Tuoba Ren glanced at Song Lian, coughed a few times, and then said in a high-sounding manner, "It's okay. Today, I will follow what Master Song said. I will spare your life for the time being, and let you take the blame for meritorious service. If this mission fails again, raise your head and see yourself." Cha-Cha-Chi nodded his head like garlic, his heart finally turned around a bit, patted his chest and assured, "My prince, this minister will definitely do his best to capture these two people, and there will be no shame. Come back." Walking out of the tent, Cha-Cha-Chi was squinted by the sunlight in front of him, and subconsciously covered his eyes with the back of his hand. Only then did he feel that he was alive. Feeling annoyed and remorsed in my heart, thanks to my delusional desire to be compared with King Hunnel, I almost fainted from fright with just one glance. King Hunnel is an eagle on the grassland. Even if his wings are broken, he is still an eagle. No one can surpass him. I used to have so little knowledge that I dared to shout in front of him. Now Cha-Cha-Chi finally recognized the truth and left in a daze. After Cha-Cha-Chi left, Tuoba Ren seemed to have just nothing happened just now, and he sat back in his place calmly. Song Lian nodded his head in admiration. If at this time he can lead troops to fight like a normal person, his ability is definitely not limited to a square inch. It is not in vain to be able to follow him and display his ambition. Tuoba Ren sat down, took a sip of tea to moisten his throat, and then asked, "Now that these two have escaped, what can Master Song do?" Song Lian shook his head and said carefully, "I'm not from the Shishi country, I'm not a native of Shishi country. I don't have the slightest understanding of the geographical environment of Shishi country. I could arrange one or two in Liangcheng before because they are familiar with Liangcheng, but now they are in Shishi country. The villain really can't guarantee whether the analysis is correct." Tuoba Ren saying goodbye, he said indifferently, "Master Song can talk and listen at will. Since that's the case, then it's better to be respectful than to obey orders. The villain will use an axe, and I'll just talk about a little person's stupid opinion." Song Lian cupped his hands and said respectfully, "In the large tent of the Central Army, maps have been prepared for easy reference at any time." Song Lian leisurely paced to the hanging, the largest map, which was almost the entire topographic map of Shishi country. He was calm and gave people a sense of pointing at the country regions. "My prince," according to what Uncle Ping said at the time. The two of them rode directly westward and ran towards the hinterland of Shishi country. The villain couldn't figure out why they would choose this direction. "If it were me, I would never go further and further away from the ultimate goal." Tuoba Ren nodded and motioned for him to continue. Song Lian naturally wouldn't go against Tuoba Ren's intention, and said confidently, "So the villain thinks that their ultimate goal is to detour back to Dayan Country. Either south or north, there is always a direction. It's their choice. It makes sense." Tuoba Ren said with admiration, "In Master Song's opinion, where are they most likely to flee?" Song Lian shook his head. "This requires a combination of topography and landforms to analyze the final conclusion. And the villain has just said that he is not familiar with the geography of Shishi country. So the villain does not know that these two will meet. Where to flee to? But the villain has a suggestion. You say, it's best to spread the fishing nets widely. And it would be better to send more people to search in both directions," Song Lian suggested. Tuoba Ren also thought of this. That's right. Since we came to our prairie, it's really unreasonable that we haven't fulfilled the friendship between the guest and the host. This prince just invited him to be a guest. Since I don't know what to do, it's my fault. He turned his head again and instructed Uncle Ping, draw more portraits of Prince Duan. And this prince won't believe it and still can't catch these two people. Uncle Ping had no objection, and the salute should be correct, so he went down to prepare. He has been with Ming Yu for a long time, and only he has seen Ming Yu, so he is asked to describe Ming Yu's appearance, let the painter draw it, and then search for the searcher. In this way, the two of them cannot fly even with their wings attached. Ming Yu and Xie Yishuo went out day and night, in order not to attract people's attention. They even changed their faces and dressed up as border residents. Although the people of Shishi country are somewhat different from the people of Dayan country, it is fortunate that this is a borderland, because the people of the border have intermarried from generation to generation. Until now, the appearance of many people in the borderland has been combined, and it is not obvious the difference that they have much to do with the people of Dayan country. It was just like this. The two of them smeared their skin with grass juice, and changed into the clothes of the frontier herdsmen who came along the way. The first 2 days were fine, and they passed peacefully. However, on the third and fourth day, they could see a group of cavalries roaring past, searching and asking among the herdsmen. Cha-Cha-Chi was determined to capture the two of them this time. Naturally, he arranged for his soldiers to conduct a thorough inspection, and almost turned the entire area of Shishi country upside down. Ming Yu looked at Xie Yishuo, chewed a grass stalk in his mouth, and said with a smile, "They have set up a net, just waiting for us to get in." Well, so we should be more cautious in the future. Xie Yishuo nodded, put the clairvoyant back on his waist, and then stretched out his hand to press down Ming Yu's small head. Ming Yu shrank his neck, and after a while, another group of soldiers galloped past them. The raised sand covers his face. When everything calmed down, Ming Yu spat out a few mouthfuls of sand, frowned and said worriedly, "What should I do? Looking at this situation, maybe we really can't move." Xie Yishuo couldn't see any worry on his face. "Let's go back first, and then discuss the route of travel." Ming Yu nodded, and the two walked back to the cave where they were temporarily hiding. Xie Yishuo took out the map that he carried with him, and looked at it in the dim light. Ming Yu looked at Xie Yishuo, who was serious, and felt inexplicably at ease. "We want to bypass this river valley. There is a small pastoral camp there. We have people there, who can shelter us for a while. If we move northward with them for a distance, we can avoid the pursuers." Xie Yishuo thought for a long time, and in the end, he told his plan. Ming Yu followed his fingers to look at the map, and finally stopped at a gathering place opposite the river valley. "Is it credible?" Xie Yishuo nodded and said affirmatively. "It's the nails that we planted, and it's absolutely credible." Ming Yu understood. Shishi country had planted a lot of finely crafted nails in Dayan country's Liangcheng, as if they had been mixed with craftsmanship. The real identity of Ganju is actually an unloved prince in Shishi country. Secondly, there must be something wrong with the Huchentang pharmacy and the Wang family who handles funerals. This was also discovered by this incident. And there are probably not many lines hidden in the dark that have not moved. Thinking about it, he was too naive. He never thought that infernal affairs would be staged by his side. He thought that Liangcheng was safe, but in fact, there was a crisis everywhere. It seems that after going back, you should still make a fuss about it. You can't waste your arrangement, right? There have been back and forth. Ming Yu is a person who will retaliate. This time he was plotting against him. If he didn't return it, how could he be relieved? Hearing what Xie Yishuo said, Dayan Country is not weak, either. Knowing yourself, knowing your enemy and winning 100 battles, this is the truth that has been understood by everyone throughout the ages. How can it be possible to understand the enemy's movements without putting a nail in it? Since Xie Yishuo has said so, Ming Yu is naturally relieved. It's just that in the current situation, it is obvious that the King Hunal will not let them go easily. If something goes wrong, it will be a disaster. They just passed by like this, even if they had their own people to answer. But if there were any mistakes, no one could tell. Xie Yishuo could see Ming Yu's worry. I'll send the letter first, and try my best to discuss a safe way, so that other people won't be suspicious. Let alone let those people find out the clue. Ming Yu nodded. So well, prepare everything, there is a way to deal with it.